All right, so recently there has been some new developments with the Epstein files. We're slowly but surely marching toward a happening. Perhaps once this time, nothing ever happens, but perhaps it will this time. The full list of Republicans signing discharge petition to release Epstein file. Four House Republicans have signed a petition to force a vote on the release of the files associated with Jeffrey Epstein. According to House data, the four Republicans have joined Democrats in calling for a vote on further action regarding Democrats concerning the activities of the convicted sex offender who died by no, yeah, he did not. He did not take his own life while awaiting sex trafficking charges. Um, okay, so I'm here with the poet to discuss the significance of this. What are your thoughts on it? I heard you had a lot of opinions. I am of the opinion, because it seems like there was some stuff released recently that we're going to get like fake stuff. Like they said there's some
Hmm.
stuff that was going to be released as like last Friday or the Friday before that or so. And
Yes.
some of the files were already public. And they've done that like twice at this point. Um,
Yes.
I don't think so.
That is nothing new. The administration has done that twice now. Um, I believe the total release documents represent about 1% of what the DOJ has, and 97% of the newest release of about 33,000 pages worth of documents was already in the public domain, mostly relating to Ghislaine Maxwell's trial, as well as already known facts about the Epstein case. So,
Okay.
um, that kind of plays into the problem here. So,
Well, yeah, people are justifiably a little bit cynical about anything even coming out. Um, I mean, it seems like you seem like though you're saying something about Thomas Massey. Like, what was your view of that situation? Like, why do you think he was close to actually getting something out of this?
well, recently, starting actually, let's sort of begin where this whole story starts. Is back in July when the DOJ said there's nothing there. There's no list. There's no um, hard evidence of any co-conspirators, anything like that. We all know that to be a lie. You know, it's so obvious.
Mm.
Thousands of women being trafficked, and none of them. Uh, all the one guy? Like, really? Come on.
It was a one man freak
He's
off.
prolific. It make him the most prolific pedophile in history.
It was a one man Diddy
Thousands.
party on his island.
It was a one man Diddy party.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's absurd. No one's buying that. So, of course, that all happens. Then you get the stuff, some honestly questionable reporting by the Washington Post. They haven't produced that particular letter that they claim was Trump.
Mm.
So I'm not gonna state definitively on that case. But it doesn't look good for Trump. Let's be honest. Trump knew the man for 15 years. We have video of him and Jeffrey leering essentially at young women. Um, it's not looking good for old Donnie.
I don't think he's
Let's just
actually
be
in it
frank.
himself, because
Yeah,
I think that would be a little dumb of him to run for president. He never really committed to fully releasing these, but to still for him to like have that
yeah.
premised as his whole thing, and
Well,
then
there's a
he's
definite possibility that he totally underestimated how much his base bought into it.
wait.
Trump never really talked about the Epstein stuff. He definitely talked about the elites being pedophiles, but I think he was hoping that it was going to come out some other way. You know?
Yeah, I mean he was always
But
very careful not to specifically say it was something that he was gonna do. I mean, I definitely think that
yeah,
he knew what Epstein was about, and And there are
He definitely
definitely,
had prior knowledge. Yeah.
yeah, I'm convinced there are probably like major donors and things like that. Other very important people, perhaps people involved in the intelligence community who are in the files. I don't think he in
Implicated.
particular
Yeah.
is necessarily, but then, you know,
Yeah.
what's
Well,
your
again, we can't say who's in the files yet. No one knows. It could be anybody. Could be everybody. That's the issue with this kind of thing. To get on to the Massey effort, starting around end of July, Thomas Massey, along with Representative Ro Khanna, and pretty much the backing of the entire Democratic Party, uh, started to get the movement for a petition, what's known as a discharge petition. Now, this doesn't guarantee that the files will come out. It basically just guarantees that there will be a vote on the files.
hmm?
Now, here's the thing about the discharge petition, though. It'd look horrible for anyone to vote no on the discharge petition if it comes up to vote. You know?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to vote no on something that the American people have been asking for the entire month of August and July.
Mm-hmm.
That's the amazing thing, that they haven't been able to tamp this down. And if anything, that proves that something might happen here. We're all of the belief nothing ever happens, but we're kind of on a knife's edge.
Yeah.
Massey is not approximately, factually 2 signatures away
Mm-hmm.
from the discharge petition. And Massey claims now, if I hope Massey lives to follow through with his word.
Mm-hmm.
But Massey is claiming that if the Democrats refute, not the Democrats, apologies, sorry, I'm so used to blaming them. Um, if Congress does not pass this thing, Ro Khanna, Thomas Massey, as well as other Republicans such as Marjorie Taylor Greene, Boebert, have
Mm-hmm.
all committed to reading a list compiled by confirmed Epstein victims themselves.
Ooh. Okay.
Now, yeah, yeah. And that's the newest news recently. Massey had quite a large press conference on the Hill, on Capitol Hill, with hundreds of Epstein victims. Like, it's getting to the point where they can't ignore this.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's what I noticed too. Is that I thought this would be, that the way it's behaving is interesting because there's enough pressure that they feel obligated to continue doing stuff, which is
mhm,
interesting. Because I mean, really, this is his second. This is his lame duck presidency in a way, his last 4 years, and I don't think
yeah.
like a lot of people seem to be under the assumption that perhaps they voted for him for the first time because they thought the files would be released. I think that there were a lot of people like this, but then I don't think that they were, they're ultimately what won him the presidency this time. I don't think
Oh, they
um,
definitely weren't.
that was
But
it was
here's
sort
the
of
issue.
when we talk about like a presidential mandate. That was like a relevant issue, but
Mm.
again, he never said like word for word this was something he was definitely going to do. He
Oh
definitely
no,
surrounded
he
himself with
never
people
fully
who were like
committed.
like Cash Patel and what's that guy? I can't even Dan Bon. Was it Bongino?
Bongino,
Bongino.
Bongino,
Bongino.
Bongino.
Bongino. Buena Vista. He surrounded himself. Yeah, he had people like that in his cabinet who were like, seemed like they'd be hardliners on the issue. So he was definitely trying to entice people to get them to expect that this would happen. But then again, he never verbally committed to it. Um, but then, like I don't know, like
It's a quandary because, like, how stupid do you have to be? If he is on the list, how stupid could you be?
yeah, yeah, that's a very
Like that
dangerous.
that
That's a very dangerous game, And I don't think he would make a blunder quite like that.
Here's my thing about it that really confuses me. Let's say, you know, Trump might be on this list. Like there's a definite real possibility of that. How in the world? Like the cover up, if it is a cover up, it's the worst cover up in history.
Mm-hmm.
Like whoever was in, like somebody called whatever intelligence agency, which we probably know. Well, we may or may not get on to that a little later in the show, but whatever intelligence agency was behind this, I always think of that scene in SpongeBob where it's in SpongeBob's head and they're all just running around screaming as fire burns.
Mm-hmm.
That must be what's happening at the headquarters of whatever intelligence agency was behind all this.
Well,
Because,
I heard they were like they're at intelligence agencies in D.C. as soon as Trump got elected a second time. Um, they were like shredding tons of documents and just throwing stuff out. So that happened, and but then stuff like that, like details like that, make me think that
hmm,
even if let's say that like Trump, that's what makes me think that there is some aspect of Trump that is genuinely subversive, even if he knew about and basically tolerated Epstein, because there do seem to be actual reactions from government institutions and a part of the swamp that doesn't like him
hmm.
and is legitimately having an allergic reaction. Um,
Well, we've
although,
seen that in the news.
yeah, like I think that that indicates that there is some sort of power struggle going on. But then
Oh,
also
definitely.
we don't totally know the nature of this network either. We don't know if this is like, you know, perhaps like this could be there could be like the federal bureaucracy could, be viciously harming the American people, and then these people are still above it or beyond it in a way. Um,
Well, that's what is kind of worrying a lot of people, I think, is this could just be the tip of the iceberg, you know? This like we don't know how deep everything goes. We don't know who's implicated. We don't know how far they're implicated. We just simply don't know, and that's why the American people want the list.
mhm. Well, I
And
think honestly,
there's a
what
good chance that a hard list doesn't exist. Like
yeah,
this guy was an international criminal. He's probably not going to leave a clean paper trail like that, you know? But there's definitely like known affiliates of him. These women know who abused them. Like they're real. It's not like they're running around just making this shit up. Maybe a few of them could be. I don't think so.
yeah,
'Cause they have
yeah.
lawyers that represent them. Like there's legal hoops that you have to jump through to be associated with this case. And honestly, they're playing a very dangerous game
Mm-hmm.
if they are making this stuff up. If any of them do make up a name, if they do for some reason have malicious intent in include a fake name in their supposed list, that's I'm not a lawyer, but that's legal suicide if they do get caught. Um Now, what I would like to mention, you said CIA. What was very interesting in the Massey press conference that just occurred, one of the lawyers, the Epstein victims, let a little interesting bit of information slip. He said that there's CIA documentation on this case.
Hmm.
If this was just a regular, domestic pedophile, why is the CIA involved?
I mean,
Why is an
he's
intelligence
definitely.
agency involved?
I mean,
There is obviously something deeper to this. Like in the American, like I'm not. I hate to say this. The American people are kind of retarded,
mhm.
but there's no way of getting around it this time. Like everyone sees this. There is something up, and it feels surreal
Mhm.
almost. Like once you realize how close everything is to just complete and utter shit show right now. It's a surreal environment.
I also think and would imagine there's like enough of these people because there have already been at least two attempts on Trump's life. Like these people are
Yep.
probably even more like they probably
Oh,
are
they
like
just have
powerful in
more fuel
natures.
in their fire.
Yeah. So I can understand why he would suddenly get cold feet because God knows what they might potentially be capable of or willing to do. Um,
Oh no, yeah. I can only imagine.
and especially since they probably do have what I think that's like public knowledge now. We don't even have to worry about it. Hold on.
What? Are we talking about the connections? I mean, Tucker talked about it. Candace talked
Wait, yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
I mean, it's Newsweek's reporting on it, so we can say it here on YouTube. Jeffrey Epstein
Okay,
rumored
okay.
Mossad connections explained. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Jeffrey Epstein, probably a Mossad agent. We definitely know Maxwell's dad was affiliated with Mossad. It doesn't look good.
yeah.
It does
Um,
not look good. Now, I'm not going to officially say that. You know,
well, people are
I don't know
saying
if
it.
he's
There are
Mossad.
rumors.
There are rumors. There are people saying that this guy, including ex Mossad agents, I might add.
Yeah. Well,
So,
it seems like
not
it's
looking
just it's
good.
just like sexual blackmail too. You get
Which is
who?
unsurprising, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sure we did the same thing back against the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union did that. It's sexual blackmail. But this is like disgusting. This is low. And it
Yeah.
implicates a lot of high up politicians, businessmen, especially. I think more so businessmen
Mhm.
than even politicians. Because you only need a select few politicians to hide this, but you need a lot of money to hide it too. So I
Mhm.
think it implicates more business. Just knowing what Maxwell was into too, he was much more so on the funding side of Mossad.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm not going to say what he did because I don't think that's been legally proven in court. But there's some funny stuff going on with some of his businesses' pensions that has been documented.
Mhm.
Um, do your own research on that. Candace Owens made a wonderful video. So did Tucker Carlson.
Mhm. Is there anyone you
And
hope is on the list? Who would
oh,
you want to see go
I
down?
hope they're all on the list. I
All
want
of
to see
them.
them all. If you have a net worth over $1 billion,
Watch the world burn, huh?
yeah, honestly, I I think I have plans to get out of here. I've already set up. I've begun to take steps to apply for asylum status in Ireland. So
You're gonna return home.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Do you think they'll accept you?
I'm getting out of here. Oh, they already have.
Oh, really?
When I was over there, yeah, yeah. When
Well,
I
the
was over
people.
there,
I
I
mean,
got
the government.
mistaken
Aren't
for
they
a.
really liberal now?
I don't care if they're liberal; they're my people.
Well, yeah, but no, I'm saying the government might just. They might be like, oh well, he's your name doesn't start and end. You're not Muhammad, so do we really want you
I
here?
mean, I can LARP. I can LARP as a liberal. I'm sure I can make a good case. And the Irish still have a very like national ties to like at least the Irish American population. And as an Irish American myself, with I pub like I published work on Irish American history. I'm not going to say what work, obviously. Um, but yeah, like I'm noted among the Irish American population. I think I can get back there fine.
They're gonna be like, all right, he's good. Let him in.
I mean, yeah, and there is ways. The only reason why I don't have citizenship is because my great grandmother didn't file for it. Like my grandmother didn't file for it. My great grandmother's Irish,
Interesting. You could have
but
inherited it.
I could have inherited it, but
Well,
my
then so
grandmother didn't
then I
file
could
it
have
in
too.
time.
I could have. I definitely could
Yeah,
have.
you
But
probably could have as well.
but
Yeah.
they just never. I guess they never Wasn't something they really felt like
That's the
pursuing.
issue. They don't think of like the usefulness of having multiple passports. Which, speaking of which, Jeffrey Epstein, multiple passports, two of them, an American passport and an Austrian passport, with multiple egress and ingress stamps out of Middle Eastern countries, Austria.
Where'd you read about
Now,
that? That's
the official
interesting.
that's in the files. That's in the
Okay.
files that they just released. That's some of the third. That's some of the newer information in the 33,000 files that they just released. I can't think of the file numbers off the top of my head, but I think they're in the first couple of folders. All of that information, which is really surprising to me legally, because you read the court transcripts, which are also along with those files, and his lawyers, which they have names, kind of echoey names. Anyhow,
Mm-hmm.
um, his lawyers say things like, "My client has no international passports." Then
Mm.
the judge will have to be like, "We found an international passport," and then they'll be like, "Oh, but he never used it." And then
Mm.
they're like, "Well, it has multiple entry and exit stamps on it." Like, lawyers apparently can just lie in court constantly at this level of, that's crazy.
That's pretty awful.
Like, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but I did take quite a few. Like, I took some law classes in college. That's absurd. I think that is against um, it has to be against some ethical standards to just lie like that as a lawyer
Yeah. I mean, but you know,
in a
you know how
federal court.
power operates. It's just gonna
Oh
happen.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna happen, of course, but the blatant discrepancy between what they can get away with and what your average American gets away
Yeah, you
with.
can't even kill a hooker in this
We're
country, and you know,
we're second class citizens in our own country. They
yeah,
say we can't smoke meth in the public fucking park.
yeah.
Literally 1984. Literally
We're
1984.
literally slaves.
Literally slavery.
What is this country coming to? This is not what the founders fought for.
No, that's not what my ancestors died for. This is a damn shame of a country. But
Well, okay. Let's
mhm.
pivot because I you had some opinions on potential fallout. I am still
Okay,
taking the
yeah.
nothing ever happens line in a sense. Like I was thinking that this store they're just gonna another fake release, nothing's gonna come out, and eventually like the story is just gonna kind of go away, and people they won't necessarily all forget about it, but it wasn't. I mean, again, like I don't think it was a reason why Trump got elected a second time. It helped, but I don't think it was the reason.
Well,
And
there's definitely
him
some
waffling on this
factors,
issue is
yeah.
not him waffling on this issue certainly looks bad and is hurting him, but again, I don't know that this is like, oh man, it's catastrophic if he fumbles this. Like unless he's literally in the files himself, I kind of don't know how much.
Well, yes. I see how, like, worst case scenario, he's in the files, of course. That is like total blow to legitimacy, you know? Um, like, that's Watergate. That's beyond Watergate levels of scandal,
Like
you know?
Watergate to the
If
power
he's
of 10.
that's yeah. Watergate times Reichstag fire.
But
That's
then also
crazy.
so absurd because he like literally would have just exposed himself.
He did. Yeah, like, it would have been retarded. Like, if that's how this plays out, that's absurdly retarded. Why would you even like mention the Epstein files if I was in Trump's shoes?
Do you
I
think we
wouldn't
get
say anything.
Do you think we get a MAGA without Trump in that? Do you think the movement would actually be strengthened by it in some way?
Uh it's I don't know, man. There's a
Because I
lot
imagine there'd be
of
like tons of people
issues.
who'd be like, okay, like we're still America first, and now we really, they'd be attracted to all the positions. They think all this stuff is it would definitely strengthen those sort of more radical aspects of the populist right. In my opinion, it would give them a
Oh,
lot of
definitely.
credibility.
I think it would give credence to the conspiracy theorists would be quite frankly empowered. People like Alex Jones. I now I'm not the big supporter of clankers. I'm not a big AI guy, but I did ask ChatGPT, Grok, and Gemini some things, and this is where it gets into the potential fallout of this. Right now, we're looking at pretty much two options here, three options, and I'm going to list them in order of at least my opinion of likeliness, reverse order of likeliness. So least likely, they managed to somehow completely avoid the Matthew issue. I think the mere fact that this topic is continued over the August recess is proof that the American people have an interest. They want to hear about, they want this situation resolved. And here's the advantage that Massey has at this point. Massey claims to have a list made by the victims. And he's already started naming people on the list. I think the newest name that he said was in the black book was Don Paulson or somebody like that, big Republican donor. I don't know anything about him. I'm not going to say if he's on the list or not. That's a massive problem. But basically, what he's capable of now is he can just drip feed the American public these names, keep this issue alive for essentially ever. You know, every time he says a new name, new headline, new people interested, he can keep this shit alive for as long as he fucking wants until he manages to either get the signatures for his discharge petition or possibly force them to release the files entirely because that's what he wants. And I'm a big fan of Massey. I kind of know the kind of guy Massey is. He's willing to die on this hill. He's betting
You
his
have a lot of
entire
faith in
political
Massey.
reputation.
I'm
What?
not. I'm not saying it's misplaced because I honestly I don't. I
I have
don't
a lot
really
of
know
faith in
enough about who
Massey.
he is to judge one way or the other. But
He's a pretty interesting guy. I've looked at his voting history. Much more so a libertarian
oh
guy,
wait, no,
but
no, wait, no. I no. I remember who he is. Nope, never
yeah,
mind. Sorry, he's the one who didn't take any APAC money. Yep, sorry. I don't know
yep,
why I was thinking
yep.
this was someone else.
No, Massey doesn't take APAC money. He
Yeah, he
openly
would he would do it. Yeah,
criticized. He's gonna do it. He's like crazy. If he doesn't get killed, he's gonna do it.
yeah, yeah. Wow. I can
Yeah,
give you I can
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if what he's able to ultimately get his hands on will be the real deal, but then I do believe he's bold enough to actually go through with it.
He is. That's kind of the craziest part about this. He lives off the grid. He has nothing to lose, man.
Wait. How old is he? Because that's what I'm. If like let's say worst case scenario, Trump's in the files, would Massey become the new leader of MAGA?
He'd become a national hero. That's what we're looking at. Honestly, I'd vote for the guy. If he'd become a national hero to the Republican base.
Yeah.
It's without a doubt. Without a doubt. The man who single-handedly upends the deep state.
Mm-hmm. And he's also in one
That's
of those positions
yeah.
where like I mean I think the I don't know it would look very non-optical if he like suddenly died.
Oh yeah, look horrible.
Like
They'd have to number
they might
one
be
kill a
desperate enough
U.S.
to do something like
congressman.
that, but also it does look like man, this looks really bad.
If they kill a U.S. congressman
Yeah, I mean, well,
who's
again, like
trying,
Trump,
yeah, that
they
oh
did try have those attempts on Trump's life, but like also, now it's just obvious that something's there.
yeah, they're the it's bad. It's like all those like I get it. I was one of those people. Nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. And then
Well, because most of the
something's
time that is
happening,
true.
guys. It is, but I'm a historian. I went to college for this stuff, and it's times like these are the exact times when shit like this happens, on
What
a
do you mean
knife's
that?
edge.
Like what are the specific conditions you're looking at here?
Well, number one, large the public distrust in the government is at an all-time high. Let's be honest here. Who the hell is sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, no one, the government isn't implicated in this at all."
Well, yeah, that's the thing.
You're
Even
smoking
liberals kind of
drugs.
have to like,
Even
they went from
liberals.
denying the deep
Well,
state existed to saying they were the deep
hmm,
state to then going actually, to then sort of implying that Trump is part of the deep state himself because he wouldn't release the files.
yeah, that's the issue. Basically, everyone has a loaded gun right now, and everyone's pointing fingers.
Yeah.
There's a loaded gun on the table, and everyone thinks the other guy's going to grab it right now. That's what we're coming to. The Democrats are willing to essentially commit political suicide. They don't care how many of their people they lose. They have Trump derangement syndrome. They just want Trump gone.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care if Hillary's implicated. They don't care if Clinton's implicated. They don't care if all the old guard Democrats are implicated.
Mm-hmm.
To their credit, that's pretty respectable for being a bunch of dumb libtards. But I think it's mostly Trump derangement syndrome that's kind of driving this.
Oh yeah. Well, they never cared about it really. They only cared
And
about it
if
as
they
like a
fully,
deflection, so they could be like,
oh
oh well,
yeah,
the guy
and
you
if
like is actually involved in this.
but they care about it just enough because they think they can take Trump out with it. And I don't think they fully realize, like, that's the funny thing about the Democrats is they don't realize kind of how deep this thing might go.
Or I don't know. It is interesting that their political class is willing to do that suddenly because then it's like are we gonna like call their bluff? Like what? We know that they're implicated too. We know Jeffrey Epstein has those kinds of connections, but then
Well,
suddenly they're like, oh, actually release him. Just by being literally the part of the deep state.
I think I think it's a combination of factors that are all, again, this is how history goes. There's just times when it's a perfect storm. And this now is a perfect storm. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats, the old guard Democrats, people like Bill, people like Hillary, even Obama, people, young voters aren't giving a shit about them.
Mm-hmm.
And the boomers only have so long to live.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the Democrat Party's kind of cutting the fat, maybe. People
Well,
like
well,
AOC,
the
they've
question.
already signed, all 212 House Democrats have signed on the bill.
That's what I find. That's what I find kind of weird. Because then, if
200,
they're cutting the
yeah.
fat, then you have people who are the fat that's getting the fat in question that's getting cut who are signing off on this, which I think
I
they would know
also
better.
think I also think, and I've talked to some friends who worked on Capitol Hill for Democrat congressmen. I have a friend who worked for a Democrat senator, and he agrees with me on this. I think they're all playing the I bet I'm not on the list game, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because the political benefit of being a person to support the overthrow of the deep state that they know is there
Mm-hmm.
and is praying to God that Jeffrey didn't remember to write their name down, which
Mm-hmm.
is a very real possibility here. They're probably all betting I covered my tracks. I think Democrats, especially the rich ass Democrats, they're naive enough to, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're naive enough to be playing the I bet Jeffrey didn't write my name down game.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. This again, as you said earlier, this is a quandary. There's a lot of
it
stuff
is
that something's definitely going on and it's very fishy, but then actually teasing out the edges of what it is like,
impossible.
yeah, it's something is very seriously wrong, clearly, but it's not. And I don't really even say this out of political loyalty. I really do think that I mean, I don't think that I think he's probably not in it. But then if his name came up, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Honestly, no offense to Donnie, I'm sure the girls, if he is on the list, you know, I'm sure the girls weren't like 12 years old. I'm sure they might have been like, well, it might have been she told me she was
Okay.
18, guys. Like I could see that happening
I
with.
think some people are thinking that,
Now I'm not
especially in some
saying that. I'm
states.
not saying that.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
not
I'm
saying
not
that.
saying that's what happened. No.
Okay, so in discussions of this issue that you've had with other people, like what are some perspectives that you've heard that you agree or disagree with or thought were interesting? You know,
Well, of course, one of our mutual friends said, he's a real smart guy. We both will admit that.
mhm.
Probably smarter than us. And what he's saying is he thinks honestly it's not worth it to a certain degree. I think I was just reading some messages that we had, and I think he's sort of coming over to my side now, especially once he realizes like how dedicated Massey is to this. Like that's the biggest factor. Massey's willing to die on this hill, and that's scary. Um, so in regards to that, he was afraid of the possible implications of like, let's think about it. There's probably going to be a lot of donors who are implicated in it.
Mhm.
And that is going to cause one of two things. Number one, big economic crisis because these are very rich people. There's going to be a lot of capital flight, but they're predicting stock market crashes of 40 to 60%.
Wow.
Yeah. If all the files are released and they do implicate the people that people think they are implicated in.
Okay, semi-related
Massive
question.
stock market.
Should we?
Mm-hmm.
Does this mean we should buy or sell?
Short,
Short. Well,
short,
you kind of don't you have
short
to have some
stocks.
money to short things?
You need to have margin. If you have a margin account, short. I'm not a
How do you get a
financial
margin account?
advisor. This is not financial advice.
Well, no, no, no.
What I'm doing is investing in gold.
I'm
Gold.
not claiming to be any sort of stock guru, but then shorting would make
No.
sense in an event like this. But
Yes.
how do you get how do you get a margin account? I thought you had to have like a couple $1,000s. Maybe
You
like I
do. You do. You need to have some like kind of financial backing or at least the ability like credit. You need to have a good credit score, I think is the biggest factor.
but if, short of okay, no pun intended. Short of not being able to short, what should people do?
Invest in honestly, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'd say gold.
Well, no, no, no,
Political instability
because the
like this,
stocks are
gold
going to take
goes
a
up.
hit. Should you sell then? I'd imagine as soon as the information's released, and then they think that it's going to take.
Uh,
That's
I'd
what it
say
seems to
sell
me.
now. Sell now,
Well, hold
unless
on.
it's a stock that is insulated
Okay.
against this. Like certain, like for example, what I've been buying up is gold mine
Mhm. Well,
because it's an easy way to basically trade the price of gold in a stock
I'm
format.
saying, I mean, I would imagine that if I don't really have a whole lot of money in the stock market in the first place, but I would imagine that
Mm-hmm.
like as soon as the information is released, like as soon as you get that notification on your phone, like just sell everything. That's what I would do,
Yeah, yeah, sell because the market is immediately gonna start plummeting.
and then you can
Um,
buy again.
yeah, buy the dip, baby, buy the dip. Again, we are not financial advisors. This is not financial advice. Okay.
This is 5,000 something YouTube, 5,000 sub YouTube channel bro advice.
Yeah,
We're experts in bro
in
knowledge.
jack shit.
Well, no,
Yeah,
it's bro knowledge. It's just
it's
just
bro
general
knowledge.
man knowledge.
It is.
um, but
This is bro advice.
do you have any more thoughts on like potential implications of the situation, or like
Well,
it
that's
does
the
depend
other
heavily on
part
how
of
many
it.
people are exposed and who precisely they are,
Yes.
but like, do you think that this would be like a potentially devastating hit to, say, the Republican Party?
I mean, if enough donors, as I said, our friend thinks a lot of Republican donors will be implicated in this, and that's what could hurt both political parties in the long run. Is if enough of the big donors are implicated, that could cripple a party's economics. You
Mm-hmm.
know, cripple them.
Well, I was thinking just that perhaps like a specific, there'd be like a social hit, you know,
No,
like it
it'd
would
be an
hurt the GOP
economic hit.
electorally.
Oh, it definitely hurt the GOP electorally if a lot
Al-
of Republicans are on the list. That's
Although
a given.
I also can't see this as just being a GOP exclusive list
It's a
either.
Yeah. I
So
think both parties are gonna get hit.
yeah, and that would kind of like cancel out in a sense.
It would, but honestly, you third party bros, this is your best chance. Start organizing now.
Now's your
You
time,
have a chance.
libertarians.
Now's your time,
Green
libs,
Party, get it on.
libertarians. Yeah. See what you can do.
Oh gosh,
Because that
imagine if like what was his face, Gary Johnson, if he's on there too,
Oh yeah, Gary Johnson. Oh my
and like
God.
and Jill
I might
Stein.
have to vote for Gary. Oh, I might have to vote for Gary,
No, but what
honestly.
if he's
He was
implicated?
oh no.
Uh,
No, not Gary.
Doing something sick, you know? Forcing him to wear a bra made out of dollar bills. God knows what these
I
libertarians
could
like.
s- Oh yeah, they're quite hedonistic, I hear.
No, we're kidding, obviously, but um, I don't know. Is that a concern for you? Or are you like where do you stand
You
in your relationship to electoral politics at the moment? Because I think we're both fairly practical people. Like we know that
mhm.
it's even if we don't get most of what we want, it's a sort of, as the liberals say, harm reduction. Like, we can get certain benefits from it without expecting all of our political problems to be solved, and that's why it's worth engaging.
Mhm.
But how would you actually feel if that, something comes out? Is there a matter of principle that would be like, okay, is this crossing a line or what?
To me, honestly, the pragmatist in me says if Donald Trump is implicated, what I'd have to see is a good faith act by Donald Trump. Like, if Donald Trump acquiesces and releases the files and just takes the hit on himself, that's the only way I see Donnie getting out of this if he is implicated.
You'd be like,
You
okay,
know? I'd be like, fuck. It'd definitely be like a moral quandary, but I think the pragmatist in me at the end of the day would be like, he did it good enough. He got rid of who we wanted to get rid of. I'll look the other way.
you'd be like, this cancels out at this point.
Yeah. Saving the Republic from the deep state, okay. I'll give you a pass. But you have to stop, you know,
Mm-hmm.
if that is going on, you know. And that's the only way I see myself if he is implicated, giving him a second chance. Which honestly, I've been thinking there's been a little thing in the back of my mind, okay? Think about this.
Mm-hmm.
What if Donald Trump is only I hate to say it, this has been in the back of my mind ever since this whole thing started. Maybe there's some 4D chess going on here. Donald Trump is kind of shittily covering it up on purpose and he's letting Massey unveil it to take, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you get what I'm saying? Because he's too afraid. Because they've made attempts on his life. I don't blame the guy for not wanting to follow through.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's playing some 4D chess and letting Massey sort of be the dummy, be the patsy, and then he's gonna step up and be like, "It was my plan all along. I did it. I'm saving the American people." You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's possible. It's possible now that that's like some QAnon type shit, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
At this point, anything could be on the table.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No, I definitely hear what you're saying. I mean, how do you hope? Like, what do you hope will come out of this situation exactly? Versus what you expect to
Now
happen.
the okay. What like best case scenario?
Yeah, best case scenario versus what you think will happen.
Okay, best case scenario. Now there's two best case scenario. I'm going to give you like the nice best case scenario that isn't the accelerationist in me, like just let it all burn. But uh, best case scenario, this there's going to be a congressional inquiry. Honestly, no. Best case scenario, honestly, Massey outs everybody, becomes a national hero, and takes over MAGA.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have that much faith in Massey
Mm.
because I don't know. There's something in me. He's a Caesarian figure, I feel, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
he is a Cincinnati. He he owns a peach farm in freaking Kentucky, man.
You said he owns a beet farm?
A peach farm.
A peach farm.
He lives off the grid on a peach
On
farm.
a peach farm. I was like, this guy can't. You're telling me he's Dwight Schrute, a peach farm, not a beet farm.
Yeah, no, a peach farm. Look him up. Crazy guy. Amazing politician. I think, if anybody's capable of saving the republic, it's him.
Matt Thomas Massey.
Thomas Massey.
Okay, I can see the logic behind
This is
why you're
this
saying that.
is being a historian. This is the exact time when Caesarian figures like Massey has the potential to be are created.
I don't know that he would rise to that level though.
I don't think he wants to, but I could see him doing it.
And also, like, what would we do? Like, invade Canada suddenly? That's a little
No.
too. That's a little jump in the shark there. I mean, I think he's very important
Yeah,
and he
that's
has the
wild.
potential to be very
I
helpful.
think
But I don't know that I would quite call him a Caesar.
no. Not Caesarian, more Cincinnatus. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Well, tell me what you mean by
Uh
that.
okay, so I think knowing Massey's politics, if Massey becomes president, he's gonna be another Jefferson.
Okay.
He's gonna gut the military industrial complex. He's already supported that.
Yeah.
He's going to end ties with a certain evil state.
Mhm.
Don't need to say which one. Um, and it might end up just being kind of a weird libertarian experiment for a bit. But
Mhm.
anything's better than what it is now, in my opinion.
Mhm. Well, I don't know. He's old right in a way. You'd say like the old right.
Yes, classic right. Classic right. Sort of Jeffersonian, very Jeffersonian. And you know me, I'm a big Jeffersonian. I think that's the way America should have gone if we had the chance. If I
Hmm.
could turn back the clocks, let the Jeffersonians take over.
What do you want?
I
Like an
think we would be
agrarian
living,
republic.
yeah, in an agrarian republic. I think that that's what America should have been, and what America could have been, wasn't it? For the meddlings of Hamilton.
What a
I'm glad
terrible,
Ehrenberg shot
what a
his
god
ass.
awful
Yeah,
musical there.
it is. It is a god awful musical, a god awful man. I hope Hamilton rests in piss. I hate Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton, hate the guy.
Um, I don't know. I
But
think there
yeah,
are certain just due to technological developments that unfortunately the sort of farmers republic vision of America was a little bit doomed. Like we have not figured out how, as a country how to uh, maintain our industrial power and hegemony on the world stage while also retaining, traditionalist uh,
well,
agrarian
I
values.
think at this point, us especially at this point, we do have to give up one of those.
Yeah. Or we have to really rethink how. And I don't. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying I don't think anyone
Hmm.
really knows yet, or it hasn't been
Oh no.
proposed in like a public way. If someone does, it's not. I haven't heard it of being able to of a way to sort of reorganize American life in that manner. And then also, but then also, um, the issue with the presidency is that it's designed in
Hmm.
such a way that the executive branch doesn't have that kind of power. Like what I found very worrying about how Democrats were responding to Trump's tariffs was that they were literally trying to pass a
Hmm.
bill that would like block his ability to do that. And I'm like, well, they just want to remove uh, they want to remove any they just like they just want to remove the ability of someone who does want to move in the right direction. They want to take away their power to even
Hmm.
do that. um, and it's not like you can make these sweeping decisions about reorganizing the economy because we have this in western countries. We have this public-private divide between the sort of the small d
Yeah.
democratic political class and the free market or unencumbered economic forces. And the former isn't really supposed to interfere in the latter, even though it can and should in constructive ways, just not left wing ways. But you know,
Mm. Well, here's the issue that that this presents is with the implication of not only our political class but our economic ruling class. This is the exact kind of brew that could upend all those things
mm,
from a historical standpoint.
yeah, the sheer number of people and the fact that it's elites both in politics and in government and in the economy.
Yeah, the possible, like if it's like DEFCON 1, like absolute worst case scenario, 2/3 of Congress is implicated, like some crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
It could spell the very end of the American Republic
I don't
because
know.
it
I would really
I don't think
I'm
it
on my
will.
toes
I
about
don't think
this.
it's that bad. I pray it's not that bad.
Well, my thought is also like, what
But
would even
this,
happen to the? How would we would I like
okay.
what would
So
even if it's all these people who
if
are
you
so
want
important?
historical
Are we actually going to
examples,
begin prosecuting them? Like, would the system just kind of
okay.
break down and
Yes.
people would have to go out and protest themselves? Like socially, I do think there's a bit of a question as to how people would even
Okay.
react in this situation.
Yes. So we do have some historical examples of major scandals like this causing some issues.
Mm-hmm.
Let's so I'll ask you, do you want a more modern example or would you like a very notable historical example?
Start with the historical and then move to the modern.
Okay. So, a very close sort of historical example would be the diamond necklace affair. Actually, this would be arguably worse than the diamond necklace affair because the diamond necklace affair was a hoax.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't a hoax. It was over some stupid shit. Anyhow,
But
what
please.
occurred? Okay, let me give you the information. So this takes place in the French Revolution.
Uh,
There was a con man, uh, or a con woman, I guess, who poses as a wealthy heiress.
mm-hmm.
And basically, she seduces Cardinal de Rohan, who is a former French ambassador to the court of Vienna. Very notable French noble. And basically, there's this big scandal where Cardinal de Rohan thinks that he's basically courting the Queen, Marie Antoinette, I think. I don't know much about French history, so please, if I fuck any of this up, aftermath of the scandal, which is more into what we're talking, it played directly in the French Revolution. It directly played in the unpopularity of Marie Antoinette, and Marie Antoinette's reputation, horrible, kind of led to the reason why she's killed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is that a now that's like the big historical examples. This could end up like the French Revolution, people storming these people like mob vigilante justice,
Mm-hmm.
which is a very distinct possibility. If people are convinced that the system is this rotten and the economy just instantly goes to shit,
Mm-hmm.
people will get desperate. People will start thinking, hey, those guys with all the money, they're rich. Why don't we just go take their shit?
Well, the other thing too
They're
is like,
pedophiles,
I
you
guess I
know?
don't know that people are necessarily that desperate, but then to figure out that if it is a huge number of people who are very prominent, very public
Well,
figures,
no, it's not
then
gonna
it
be
could be such an attack. I
instantly.
could see how it could be such an attack on the social fabric that it might be that destabilizing.
Yes. Well, it's gonna take a while. So, like for example, the whole affair is the scandal is found out in like 1786. The actual French Revolution doesn't take place till 10 years later.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying this could have such a destabilizing effect that it will lead to something like that.
Yeah, or it could be like a
It's not going to be
straw in.
instant.
It could be like another straw on the camel's back.
Yes, another straw on the camel's back.
Okay, yeah, I get what you're
Now,
saying there. Yeah,
yeah, for in our, there's a lot of straws on the camel's back right now.
yeah. Well,
Just saying.
I think even though the economy's pretty bad, I don't know that it's at enough people are at a point of desperation where uh they'd literally be willing to take radical action on an individual level. Um,
Well, I'm saying it will start to get to that level. A major stock market crisis plus the capital flight, if a lot of businessmen are implicated,
oh, just try to skip town.
yeah,
Okay, fair.
yeah, that is a definite. So the other big example is, let me find it. So notable examples: Profumo affair. So let's look that up. Actually, let's go for one of. Oh, I don't know if we want to go for that one. The Dreyfus affair. It's saying this might be Dreyfus affair level.
Hmm.
That's bad.
Well, I was thinking, I know of a modern example where some very prominent people were implicated in a sort
Hmm.
of child sexual abuse scandal, which is Look up. It's a French name. His name was Marc Dutroux.
Mark Detrow. Okay,
I
let's
think this
see.
happened in Belgium. Um, and they basically, they discovered that it's literally another example of there being elite
Well, this is
people.
just a serial killer.
No, no, no. He was connected to back to specific. He didn't act
Oh,
alone,
okay.
basically, and it was pretty much confirmed
Oh,
that there was
that's wild.
yeah, these are like European aristocrats who were involved in this and businessmen as well. And the entire country of Belgium.
30,000 Belgians marched through the streets of Brussels.
Yep.
Now, imagine this, but there's dozens of people. I'm thinking if not mass looting and protest,
Mm-hmm.
there's going to be mass demonstrations. You're going to have, if it's as bad as we think it is, it's just not going to end well.
Well,
There's,
listen. There is a difference here. There is a bit of a. I mean, again, it depends on what's released and how bad it is. But like, there is a
Mhm.
difference between America and Belgium. We don't necessarily have the same social climate that they do. Um, we don't
But I
necessarily have the same
think
social
we are
cohesion.
getting, I get what you're saying, but I think Americans are kind of getting there. There are so many, like, talk to any guy on the street, man. People are unhappy, and I think it'd be the straw that breaks the camel's back for a lot of people. Now, it
Yeah.
might not be like, it's not like fucking Bastille Day is gonna happen when they release the files. I'm
Mm.
not expecting that.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
But it's gonna start the domino.
Mm.
Because all it takes is some fucking schizo, a handful of schizos, to say, I'm just gonna shoot that dude.
Well, we
Go
already have.
shoot him.
I was
The
actually
guy,
thinking of bringing this up earlier. We already have the example of
mhm.
Luigi Mangione,
Of course,
who didn't even
people are.
act on in
He
relation
acted
to these
sheerly on
files, but he
principle.
did take out a financial elite pretty much just cause
Yeah, people are already to that level, and if they have the added like moral high ground of these people are all pedophiles. If there's anyone that is morally justifiable to kill in the American mindset, it's probably a pedophile.
uh,
Look at prison.
it's over.
It's over. You're somebody's butt buddy.
Okay. I wasn't expecting you were going to use that term, but yeah.
Yeah. But let's be completely honest here. You're lucky if the shit just gets beaten out of you.
Mm.
This has potential. Now, I'm not saying it's going to go that way because there's a lot of institutional like backing, but this is a perfect storm, and this is when history is made.
Well, it definitely feels like it's
This
headed somewhere. Yeah.
times like this are when nothing ever happens becomes something happens, just from a historical perspective.
A happening is around the corner.
Happenings around the corner.
Would you feel like would you feel safe if do you feel prepared for like the electricity going out permanently?
I think I'm more well prepared than the majority of Americans.
Strong statement.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give this video a like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment down in the comment section below. Sub to me on Patreon if you want to monetarily support this channel. And Red Channels will catch you in the next one.